Welcome to Wednesday's edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. I want to welcome you. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And we got lots to cover today. Gaia came in very strong this morning saying it is time to discharge as much of the fear energy as she can. And we know that this is beginning to happen. We will see more increased tectonic activity. She keeps telling me that this is going to continue happening in the lower population densities that she can. But you have to understand how energy works, especially emotion. You know, not just emotion that we hold on to as humans, but the emotion that Gaia handles, that she receives from all the creatures and other living creatures on the planet that are responding to their experience of reality. Gaia is the mother of physical life on this planet. She's our mother, our physical mother. And she feels our angst, our fear, our joys, our soul. She feels it all. And she responds to it. And what we're seeing now is these increased ascension energies coming in that people can use in whatever the way they want. You can use these ascension energies to rise or to fall, to go to the positive, go to the negative. But she said very strongly to be as centered in love as you possibly can, even in the face of great adversity. It is important you choose to stay aligned to vibrational frequencies of love, even if the world around you chooses not to do so. She says that will have several positive effects on you personally. Those that remain in fear will experience the effects of their fear. Those of you that will remain in love will experience the effects of your love. This is important that you understand this dynamic. For where I can release these pent-up energies that you have offered to me to transmute will be dependent upon the places where fear or love exists. There are some places that are going to be, she says that the densely populated areas, she's been able to transmute and move a lot of the negative energies from the large population centers, the large metropolis, the large cities. She's been able to move a lot of those energies out into other areas where she discharges it out in areas where there are low population densities. So the amount of harm that comes to life on this planet, the animals, the birds, the humans, the plants, the trees, is being minimized at this point. She's saying she can't keep doing that if we keep moving ourselves into vibrations of fear. And what is a vibration of fear? She said any of those vibrations that you call fear include anger, jealousy, guilt, shame, any form of these, any aspect of these are energies of fear. Terror, aggression, all of these are children of fear. You must release yourself from them or you will reap the effects of them. Yes. She's saying stillness becomes very important. To remain still. She's saying to remain still. Celebrate. She's saying celebrate too. Important to find time to celebrate and delight in your being here. Delight in the being here. Delight in your being here. Playfulness becomes very important, especially in these larger centers that can only so long be delayed the effects of their causes. There is none among you that can escape the effects of your causes, except through a process that you might know of that you call forgiveness, which is the willingness to release your suffering, the children of fear, to be willing to release them from your body, to be willing to release them from your mind. And this is a great time for all of the children of Gaia. This is a great time for all the children of Gaia to liberate themselves from suffering, to restore that place of joy on earth. Many of you are finding yourselves trapped in your fear, trapped in your anger, thinking that it gives you some sort of strength or power. Nothing can be further from the truth. Your angers and your fears will not give you relief from them, but will increase your suffering and the suffering of others. For what you will hold in your heart, you will give to others. For you can only give what is in your store. You cannot get fear from someone. You cannot get anger from someone. You may have it in your own heart, but one may not give you these unless you choose to accept that gift. You may accept fear into your heart. You may accept anger into your heart. You may accept joy and love into your heart. What you will accept in your heart, you will become. Please understand this. What you accept in your heart, you will become. And the purpose of your freedom will come primarily from your willingness to liberate yourself from your suffering, from your fear. Yes. So she's saying the event down in Australia is like she says, I don't want to call it a reminder, but it's probably the best way to put it. A reminder that you are not alone in this dimension. You are not the only ones that exist here. There are the lives of many others on this planet. And within this planet, they have the right as well to experience life in all of its delights. But you are not alone. Your emotions, your thoughts, they affect all. You cannot have an effect without a cause. And many of you will think that things like earthquakes and storms and these events are random, and they are not. These are expressions of energy and consciousness, and you are affected accordingly by what you hold. Those of you that suffer in great cataclysms, and those of you that survive them, survive for very different reasons. One is closer to the energy of love, and one is closer to the energy of fear. My goal for the next 7 months, as the mother of all form, of all physical form on this dimension, my goal is to discharge as much of these negative emotional energies that you continue to repopulate in the safest manner possible. You must understand that even I have limits in terms of what I can direct and control, just as you do. I am receiving new energies, as are you, from what you call your father or the central sun. And these energies we may use in any fashion we choose. You were not given those bodies to be put into servitude to myself or anyone else. You were given those bodies so that you could liberate your creative expression in this physical dimension. You came here to liberate your creative expression in this physical dimension. And that liberation can be in either fear or love. There are no restrictions placed upon you as to whether or not you will choose to live from love or fear. You are free to use your will to live as you see fit, but know that you cannot escape the effects of your causes. That very specific emotions, very specific thoughts induce very precise changes in the conditions of your environment, in the conditions of your body. As you consider assuming full responsibility over your alignment to either love or fear, the results that you will reap in your world will precisely match what it is you choose to align yourself to. She's saying, from my perspective, you must understand that I do not have judgment, but I do react and respond to the way energy affects my physical nature. You see, I am not just this physical form that you call this earth. I am a being like you. I am a soul like you, perhaps greater in knowledge, wisdom, and experience than you as a human form, but not specialized in terms that I have exclusive connection to this level of awareness and consciousness. For all of you do. But my awareness as soul is vastly different. I understand the process of creation, of creating new forms, of creating new continents, of creating new weather patterns. I have been learning at the level of my creative potential as you are learning at the level of your creative potential. And my learning is slightly different than yours, and you will be affected by my learning as I am affected by yours, although in lesser degree. This body that I have, that you call the earth, is my mechanism for expressing creatively who I am as a soul, as the body that you have is the mechanism that you have for expressing yourself creatively as a soul. The depth and scope of your expression varies in degree and intensity than it does to mine. But the process is identical. Our process of creation is identical. I have no desire to suffer, but I have a great desire to create. And my love is my creative expression. My love is my creative expression. I would hope that that would also be yours, that your love would be your creative expression. So in these coming months, what you would call a solar year, in these coming months, you will see how I express my creative transformation from love. When I release my suffering, as you may release yours, there are changes that happen physiologically in the body of my earth as they happen equally in the body of your body. If you choose to hold on to your anger, to your love, whichever you choose to hold on to, there are very precise effects in the physical manifestation of your creative expression, as there are equally in mine. And what you might call an earthquake is simply a transformation in my consciousness, a liberating, a releasing of unnecessary tensions in my consciousness. And those tensions may originate from what you offer me. If you choose to continue to offer the vibration of fear, I will continue to release it. If you continue to engage in the vibrations of love, I will continue to express that. Love is a life-sustaining expression of matter, time, and space, whereas fear is a destructive force that transforms, transmutes, and rebuilds, restructures time, space, and matter. But please do not consider this as anything less than a communication to say that you have a choice, as all souls do, whether they are the soul of a planet or the soul of a sun or the soul of a solar system or the soul of a galaxy or the soul of a dimension. Each soul is in its creative process, which in many respects is identical to the other, but differs in degree, in intensity, and scope of effect in time, space, and matter. Please understand that what you will experience in that human body will be your version of what I experienced in my earthly body, or as what you call the Father experiences in his body of the Son. There is no limit to the depth and scope of one's creative expression, but you must decide to align yourself to one or the other. Your fear will create very differently than your love will. And so many of you do not understand this. So many of you choose to defer and deny your responsibility for your emotional creation, that your emotions are creating conditions and effects in the experience of your world. As my emotions cause changes and effects in the experience of my creative process, which is not limited exclusively to the structure of my body or this earth. It is inclusive of the relationship that I have with other celestial beings, what you call planets and moons and stars. I have relationships that are conscious with them. We interact with each other. We went through many disagreements in the past, and those disagreements can be seen as what you call your asteroid belts, and these things where we had conflicts and we actually physically conflicted with each other, and there were changes in the expression of this solar structure. And we found harmony through our conflict and our suffering. We found harmony as you see it today, as pictured in the movement of this beautiful celestial solar system moving through the divine galactic in such harmony, in such elegant precision, because we have cooperated intelligently with each other. And so too, humanity must learn to do the same thing, to cooperate intelligently with each other, to understand your creative process, to understand that your emotions are the primary mechanism through which you are creating changes in your experience of life as a human. But the process is universal, whether it is a dimensional soul, or a planetary soul, or a cosmic soul. The process of creation is universal across all levels, all dimensions. And you are at your place, each of you. And what will you choose to keep yourself aligned to? For if you stay aligned to the fears that you are currently aligned to on such a vast scale, there will be effects and consequences to that emotional energy, as the way it impacts matter is very different than the way an emotional energy such as love would impact the conditions of matter. When you are in a state of joy, does your body not change in its constitution, in its chemistry, in its expression? And when you're in a state of rage or anger, does not your body change in its chemistry, in its constitution, in its expression? Of course it does. As it does with my body, my planetary body also goes through these changes when I emotionally engage in certain things as well. When I emotionally create, because we use the substance on all levels, this energy called emotion, we use this substance to create conditions of experience that teach us what we are as creators, what we can and cannot do. But I can assure you that the creative force of fear that much of humanity is dabbling in, some of you dancing gleefully in it, there are very specific effects that you cannot escape that will have an effect on who I am also, but lesser so than it will upon you. There will be 7 significant events in these coming 12 months. 7 significant events in what you call movements of Earth, what you call earthquakes. There'll be 7 significant events in this coming 12 months. The time and place of these will be based upon a range of factors, but one of those is that where there is greater fear in your race, in your human race, where there is greater fear, there will be greater release. For the energy of fear is very detrimental to physical structures, as is anger, as is guilt and shame, of these different orphans of fear, if you like. That the greater the intensity of these emotions, though too, those places will be needing relief. My body, like yours, has places that move and breathe. You see how I effect my breath as you do. You are now discovering through your science that I have emanations of energy into space. I have emanations of energy into space as I receive energy from space, and so too in your little bodies do you as well emanate energy into space and receive energy into space. Your breath being the most obvious way in which you do that. You emanate breath and you draw in breath. You exhale energy, you bring in energy. Please understand that the process of living in a physical reality is universal across all physical structures. But please understand that I discharge and receive as you do as well. I breathe as you do, although differently. I receive my breath. I exhale my breath, as does your body. The micro and the macro, the one is in the many. Please understand this. And so I encourage you, as the creator of all form on this planet, the one that you call Gaia, whatever name you choose to give me, mother, dear, whatever name that is, understand that I too respond to the energy that I receive. And I will not hold on to suffering, nor should you. Liberate yourself from your fear. Liberate yourself from your uncertainty. Liberate yourself from your guilt. And you will ameliorate unnecessary effects in your world. But as I understand it to be from my experience, 12 times in this year, I will need to release. I will do my best to reduce the effects in time and space, but every cause has an effect, and the effects of my liberating myself from fear and releasing myself from pain and suffering, as do you, will have a different effect in time and space than you will in that body. When you release your fear, you release your sadness, your body will heal. Well, so too does mine. My body is not exempt from the process of healing any more than yours is. And there are many things that you are doing to my body that are somewhat irritating. And again, any of you knows the power of a little tiny insect that you call the mosquito. If you are alone in a room with it, it can be quite annoying. And you would do everything to remove yourself of that irritation, as many of you have done, even so far to try and genetically alter and change my creations to give yourself greater comfort. And again, there are causes and effects. So please, release your fear. Release your uncertainty. Restore yourself to love. Extend your love to others. In this, you may create profound change in a most delightful way in this world. If you choose to hold on to your anger and your fears, then you will create profound changes in your experience of this world as well, but not in perhaps the joyous way that its counterpart, love, would do. Love will do things in time and space very differently than fear will do in this experience of time and space. I came to this one today because he asked me, why was that earthquake happening in that part of my body? Why did that happen down there in that place? And I simply told him I had to release that from myself. There are some things you cannot hold in your body. It's like if you were to eat certain foods that were not good for your body, you might throw them up. Well, there are certain qualities of energy that you are continually to ingest in your energy that I have to experience as well, that I will not keep in my system. They're not compatible with who I am as a creative soul. But understand that I, as this planetary body that you call Gaia, am a soul also, as you are a soul in that individual form. Hearing these words come through this individual form. But please understand, our creative process is universal, whether you are a planetary soul, or a cosmic soul, or a galactic soul, or a human soul, or a dog soul. Whatever soul you are, your process of creation and learning is universal. Yes. She's saying, I will take some questions. For those of you that are just joining us today, I got Mother Gaia with me because I was asking her last night about the earthquakes that happened in Melbourne, Australia. And again, she's very clear. And I love how she's articulated this understanding that souls, whether you're a planetary soul or we're a human soul, that we're all in the learning process of creation. We're learning to create. Very exciting. Let's see, questions and answers. This is the fun part too. I'm so grateful. Gaia's energies, you know, thank you so much. Hello, Anne-Marie. Good morning, everybody. You know, I really honor and respect that you understand that the way that this show, the format of the show is this format that they asked me to follow. Give the message, answer your questions to the best of their ability. And so please be patient if I don't say good morning right away, just because I just follow the process of offering what comes. So thank you. And again, thank you everybody for your support. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate you coming out. If you're enjoying this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. If you like the content of this channel, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you know whenever we come live. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Drusilla. Good morning. Hi, Ruth. Question from Ruth. I am having a reoccurring dream. Is there any guidance about them? She's saying you must understand that when things like this reoccur, it is because there is a learning to be understood. When the learning is understood, the message will change. But this particular dream, yes. She's saying the elements that are displeasing in this dream are not to be mistaken for the elements in the world around you. The elements that are displeasing in this dream are the elements of your own character that need to be altered and changed to ennoble yourself higher. And yes, you may expand yourself in love even more. And when you do this, there is such wonder. Many of you don't realize that in your experience of love, you may expand and extend and increase the intensity of that energy. But understand, be first willing to look inside your house. The outside things that are connected to that internal awareness, because that is what your dream really is. It is your internal awareness of what you wish to look at from a place where you are not able to judge it in the way you do in your normal mind. But be willing to liberate yourself from those little irritations. The prophetic elements that you believe are attached to your dream, the prophetic elements that you believe are attached to your dream will have greater value when you align yourself to love, for how you will see the meaning of things through the eyes and vibration of love is very different than how you perceive the meaning of things through the eyes of fear and uncertainty. And this you have choice over. Wow. Thank you, Ruth. Hello. Hi, Sunny. Hi, Laughter. Got a question from Laughter. I'm in Melbourne, and there are many anchoring peace here. Yes, there are. She says that this is a wake-up call, not to be afraid more, but to be in love more. Understand there is so much restriction on your expression as individuals on this planet by many who are as equally misled as you are. You must not succumb to being less of yourself than you know you are meant to be. This is important. The anchoring of peace, the anchoring of love is necessary. If you had not done this, the events would have been very differently than what you were experiencing at this present moment. The minor aftershocks that will follow in the coming days, again, will be the releasing of these. Continue to do so. Continue to anchor your light and your love. But also do not restrict yourself from fully being the sentient consciousness you are here to express yourself as. You cannot contain a plant in a confined space. It will outgrow it. You see many trees growing on mountains through the rock, the difficulty of going into that rock and penetrating through, and they still grow, they still thrive. They are creative in a new way, and you are finding yourselves, many of you in many continents on this world, struggling with this process of self-expression, the need to be free. Again, you must not subject yourself to the limits of others, but you must respectfully express them as your own. Express your own freedom, your own light, your own love. Yes, respectfully. If you continue to make this about one is being good and one is being evil, one is being right and one is being wrong, then you will get to experience the contrasts of pleasure and pain. And you will see this. When you have the world shake around you as it did, then you will certainly find yourself experiencing the polarity of fear, and then when it passes, the polarity of comfort. It's simply a reflection of the choices that you are collectively making in these places. In these larger metropolises where great earth shakes have not yet happened, this will be very evident, that the devastation that will be viewed will be in direct ratio to the intensity of the fear that you choose to continue to hold on to, and or the intensity of the love that you choose to cultivate. But this must be chosen. You must choose whether you will cultivate love or fear. Each of you must individually choose. You cannot make others choose. They must choose to choose. That is free will. But continue to ameliorate the damage by establishing and anchoring your peace. Continue to produce more joy and love by anchoring that love. You and many others like you have ameliorated much more intense result that could have occurred in that place. Wow. Thank you so much. Question from Animation. Last night, I took a picture of the moon and there was an image of a person. Can I please know who that is? They're saying that you can know them by the name, and I'm not making this up. You can know them by the name Luna. Literally, that soul, the moon has a soul. Just because it looks like a physical rock that doesn't look like, it has a soul. It is consciousness there. And you may know of her as Luna. They are neither male nor female, but you may know of them as that. Yes. This is the stillness, this one. This one you call Luna. This one is learning stillness and consistency and patience. Wow. Cool. I like that. Thank you. Sunny's asking, I'm feeling a buzzing all over my head and feet. Is that Gaia grounding us? Yes. I'm feeling it right now. Like I'm feeling it right through my whole body. And so for those of you that are really sensitive to her energies, especially if you're in Melbourne right now, the energy there, wow. Like what you guys have done down there in the contrast, with all of the struggling and the fighting and the conflict of who's right and who's wrong and what should be done. You got to realize, all of you have to realize that your emotion is a creative force. Please, humanity, wake up. Emotion is a creative energy. It can be measured in your own body. When you're really excited, your body is energized. When you're really angry, your body's energized differently. Different things happen with different emotions. And we as humans, when we get collectively engaged in fear or joy, it has a profound impact. But thank goodness so many of you are focusing on love. The Lightworker community has done so much to make it easy for Mother Gaia to know where to discharge energy from, right? Because you help her. When you're engaged in a vibration of love, you organize, your behavior changes, how you treat people changes, what you will say or not say changes. When you're in fear of anger, your behavior changes, your body changes, how you treat other people changes. And you affect the earth, you affect the space around you, affect the way you treat animals. So important. Yes, I get it. Thank you. Yeah. She's laughing at me because she says I get overly passionate sometimes when simple words are more than enough. Thank you, Sunny. Marjorie's asking, I have been seeing her release souls and energy. Is this correct? I could not say it that way, nor would I. But what I would say to you quite simply is I am evolving my soul, and the evolution of my being has an effect in turn on yours to degrees. Many of you that are sensitive to the changes in the energies that are being evolved in my creative process as they are being evolved in your creative process affect others in very precise ways. So yes, you may enslave yourself and others. You may liberate yourself and others. Yes, you are free to do this. You are completely free to do this. Not just I like that. So you're not the only one. So when you're in a state of love, you liberate other souls too. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to work with people, especially people who are living in trauma. I've been blessed enough to be able to work with them through compassionate love. And you watch the energy of love transform people versus the energy of fear. And I've gone back and forth on that throughout my life, where I'm coming from love and I see a different result. And I'm coming from it, I'm still learning that lesson. We're all still learning that lesson. That's why we're in these physical bodies, because we're still learning to master the creative process, right? Very powerful. Question from Kelly. The Weekend Witch. What can we do in our everyday life that will help humanity release? Liberate yourself from fear. That's what I'm saying. What are you saying? She's saying to continue to act in love's good conscience. And I use the word conscience as a form of being conscious of your love's expression. Many of you that wish to evolve yourselves out of fear are indeed being faced with those that are very fearful, so that you will not be able to get entrapped in it. You must recognize that their fear is not your fear. You must learn to lift yourself above that. Yes. Align yourself to that vibration that you know as love. Your highest conception of a feeling of goodness of joy, of playfulness, of excitement. Keep yourself aligned in that. And you will have to say less and you will have greater result. It's not so much of what you say, it is what you feel. It is what you emanate, right? And those that are in fear will come to you who are in love. Be prepared for those of you that are in love will have those that are in fear coming to you, seeking liberation. They may seem like they are trying to attack you when they simply wish to be liberated from their fear. And you can offer them that in words to understand that their fear is real to them, although it is not, but it is real to them. Be willing to extend love, if not in word, then certainly in intention. Do this as often as you can. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that question. Kelly's asking, I go outside many times a day. I go out barefoot and try to connect with the earth. I give thanks for all there is. A better way for me to connect. Is there a better way for me to connect and ground that I am not doing? She's saying, no, not at this time. New steps will appear. You will be guided to do different things with your hands, not simply your feet. You may immerse yourself in my flesh. What do you mean by that? She may go out and she may actually put herself in the sand, in the dirts, in the waters, to immerse herself, not simply to stand on it, but to immerse herself in my flesh. That's cool. That's cool. So she's using her flesh like water, the earth, sand, things you can actually put your body in. Is that correct? Yes. So yeah, really, you can go deeper if that way. If you want to get more intimate, you can go that way. I know that Master Jesus, when he was teaching his disciples, he taught with what he called the four angels: the angel of air, the angel of earth, the angel of water, and the angel of fire. And the angel of earth, he would often have his disciples put their bodies in clay or wet clay, like literally immerse themselves in clay or mud, and to allow the mud and the clay to draw toxins and stuff out of the body. And bentonite does that when we swallow it, right? And that was the angel of earth, and the angel of air was Liberate, learning to breathe and indulge in the air, to strip your clothes off and allow your body to be free in the air, moving around the body and through the breathing of the air. And yes, and then the angel of water, which was a process of, again, hydrating the body, cleaning the body out, doing enemas, because in Master Jesus' physical time during the Romans rule, they used gourds. To do enemas, they would use gourds to do enemas versus what we can use today in our technology. And that was the angel of water. So you'd drink it, you'd immerse yourself in it, you would clean the intestinal tract out with water, you'd go fasting on water. And then the angel of fire was going out in the sun and lying in the sun and experiencing the energy of that, and really taking that energy in. And he employed that quite frequently. So what Gaia is talking about here, about immersing yourself in the clay and in mud or the water, it's very similar to those processes that Master Jesus taught as well, for those of you that didn't know that. Great question. Thank you, Kelly. Question from Ariel. I am going through many shifts in my life. Is there a specific message my guides, have for me? Wow. She's showing me, like, she's holding you in her hands. If you can feel the energy around your body right now, she's literally allowing her love to surround you at this moment. Just feel the energy around you. Be willing to surrender to greater love than your own. Be willing to surrender yourself to love greater than your own. Wow. I hope you're feeling that. So be willing to surrender yourself to love greater than your own. Yeah, it's so, as a light worker, you really want to try and do everything you can, but there's times you need to open yourself up to receive love. Turn to your guides, your angels. Yeah, sorry, you got a fairy that works with you too. That really wants you, like, come play in the garden. She wants you to go and play in the garden, have fun. Yes, it's something about moving plants around. Something you have to move plants around in the garden. But she's very excited about that for you. come and experience our light as well. Yes, that's really cool. Yeah, this particular fairy is very feminine in energy. And again, I can feel the energy. My mind can interpret it based on what it remembers from what it's read in books and things. That's not what I don't like to present what I remember. I like to present what I'm experiencing. And the energy of this fairy is very, very playful and excited. So whatever that garden is, wherever it is, go out into it. She wants you to move the plants around and really experience the love of their energy too. So opening yourself up to love greater than your own, right? And often, a lot of people do that with Master Jesus or Archangel Michael or Archangel Gabriel. You can literally call them in and open up to their love, because it can be really difficult when you're trying to be the rock all the time, right? So you need to open up to greater love. Very powerful. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. And thank you for that question. Your questions are so beautiful, all of you, every time you ask questions. Yes. Question from Jody. I'm doing an energy session today. Is there something I can be open for in assisting Gaia further? I know I'm feeling so many messages and following my soul path. No, her heart is open to you. That's what she wants you to know. Her heart is open to you. Continue as you are. You are receiving all that is needed at this time. There will be an evolution very soon in your work. You will be inspired. Yes. Feel my love. Feel my love. Cool. Thank you so much, Jody. Great question. Hello, Laughter. Question from Laughter. There is so much government control in Melbourne. How do we release ourselves peacefully when peaceful protests are challenged by police? Wow. You are already experiencing one of the ways in which this will be changed. What I have noticed in the many thousands of years that your humanity has existed upon my body, that often in times of great calamity, the differences are thrown aside and you turn to each other for support and assistance. If you are unwilling to do so yourselves, then that will be the way that it will unfold, as it has always. But for you, you must again demonstrate your love. Demonstrate your love. If what you will say and what you will do come from love's heart, then what you will say and what you will do will be very differently perceived. I know so many of you want to fight your way out of your suffering, but you must not fight your way out of your suffering. You must empower yourself with love. The suffering you feel inside, empower yourself with love. Those others that seek to resist you by physical force, they live in their fear. They live in their fear, and they do not know what they do. They are so caught up in their fear and believing it is real, they cannot see anything else. Is there something really practical they can do, though? What else can I say other than to demonstrate yourself from love? If you all gather together in love, in great numbers, not in your anger, but in the numbers that are necessary to demonstrate your truth, that your love is greater than their fear. Your love is greater than their fear. We know there are also warriors among you, and warriors have been necessary. They have been necessary. But we do not see that being necessary at this time. But let your love be a greater demonstration in greater numbers. You humans tend to measure things in terms of volume and quantity and amount. And so let your amount be measured greater in love than in fear. So let your love's expression be of greater numbers. Let all of you who seek to be relieved of your fear come forth in love. Even in the face of those that are in fear, you must come in greater numbers in love. Step forth in your love. Not in your fear, step forth in your love. You are not simply there for the well-being of yourselves, are you? You are there for the well-being of them as well. After all, in truth, you cannot separate your experiences from one another. But you are in this very strange dance where you keep stepping on each other's toes. Yeah, but Mother Gaia is in the background. She's, you just have to stay in the vibration of love, all your words and deeds. Yes. Yeah. There's some things she's saying that I'm not going to repeat here. There's some things that she's saying that I will not repeat here. But there are warriors among you too. And they have their place. And they'll have their time. Right? But it must always come from love. It must never come from fear or anger. Right? There are such things as a righteous war. Right? And it doesn't require violence. Right? A warrior can sit down and make a bigger statement sometimes than a warrior raising a club. Right? Warriors can make a bigger statement. I mean, Gandhi did it in India, right? He sat down, he refused to participate in the British system. Refused to participate in the system. That is the easiest way. Withdraw your compliance from the system. That's the easiest way from a three-dimensional perspective that I can offer. Yeah. She's saying that that's a pretty good way to articulate it. I like that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Laughter. Hi, Lauren. Hello. Wow, it's been a great morning. Question from Animal. I experience great joy and love from all creation, but also old trucks and dirt bikes. Can I experience both and remain in harmony with my higher self? Absolutely. She's saying playtime is essential. What fun is there without play? You must make your play. The mechanisms that you will use to get such excitement and enthusiasm in your play, they are changing now. Your technologies are changing as you evolve and grow beyond the need to harm. Your technologies have the opportunity to liberate you in new ways. But please, I delight in your play as you would delight in mine. For do you not love rainbows? Do you not love the beautiful creatures that swim and fly? Yes, you delight in my play too, as I will delight in yours. Thank you, Animal. Great question. Patricia's asking Gaia how she feels about it. She's laughing. She says, you have not realized that you have no need of these things. If you understood how to be responsible for yourselves, you would know that I would offer you up all that you could eat or need or desire, as I have done for many, many millions of years to all the creatures that have evolved forth from me into this physical world. Yes. So I have no need of these things, nor do you. But many of you believe that you are entrenched in that. But you can have me grow anything you wish, to offer you anything you desire, and I do. Can you not walk through the fields and the forests and find food? Of course you may. And you have learned my cycles. You have learned when to grow. No, you do not need these things. But you do need each other. You do need each other to join in these things. You must cooperate with each other. But money is not necessary. Silver's asking, Gaia, how do you feel about my vibration? How much I love and appreciate you. It's funny. She's just showing me she's showing me like a little puppet that's dancing happily. If you ever watch those puppeteers, marionettes, dancing with joy. Know that when you are dancing in your joy, you are dancing also in mine. For that body is of my flesh, and you are given it as a gift. So when you are in joy in that flesh, I am in joy. When you are in fear in that flesh, I feel your fear. But I am delighted by your joy. Wonderful. Question from Drusilla. Is there a risk of La Palma breaking up into the ocean and causing a tsunami? She's laughing. Creation in your terms as humans is very different than creation in my terms as a soul of this planet. Why would you concern yourself with my creation other than how it affects you? But let me say this, that these events, again, are interdependent between us. You are a soul living in a physical medium that I have provided for you, as I am a soul living in a physical medium that was provided for me. And as such, please understand that the nature of how you interact with the medium of matter that you use affects the medium of matter that I use. And so if you throw a rock at me, or I threw a rock at you, it would hurt. And there would be a reaction. You do not understand yet the implications of your emotions individually nor collectively. And I have come here before with this one in other times and said this before. You humans must understand, as souls living in those bodies, that your emotional nature bears direct effects in the conditions not only of your own body, but of your environment in general. You are in a process of using the very same creative substance that I use, that your planetary sun uses, that your galactic consciousness uses, that your dimensional soul uses. We are all using the same source energy to create. And there are very precise effects in how it alters and changes physical conditions in the manifestation process, from the undifferentiated state into the differentiated state. And your emotions of fear, your emotions of love, your emotions of anger, your emotions of patience, your emotions of fearfulness, your emotions of excitement have very different consequential effects in the conditions of matter. So in that sense, there is as equal a chance of this happening as there is an equal chance of it not happening. But if you remove the understanding that emotions organize conditions of matter, then you deny yourself the responsibility necessary for maintaining conditions that are more favorable to your life in this physical planet. So you wish me to tell you? You wish me to tell you if this will happen? We are not separate. I do not wish this to happen. But I cannot control you in this realm of free will, any more than you can control me in the realm of my free will. We use the same source, the same energy. So it has an equal chance of happening as it has an equal chance of not happening. If you as a collective were to restore yourself to love for even an instant, for more than one instant, you would see such a profound wonder unfold on this planet. One instant of your humanity choosing to say, we choose to be in a vibration of love, and you will be amazed and in wonderment about what that will create, as equally as you will be in shock and awe from the process of what your fear will create. But we are entwined. We are, I a soul as planet, and you a soul in a little body, but we are still soul in the process of learning through the experience of infinite creation. Great question, Drusilla. Thank you. Question from Tanya. I send love through the trees to my little crow, Yoko, who has been free now, far away. And does Gaia have a message for me concerning my little crow? She's just giggling. She's saying, your crow? That is not your crow. That crow is its own sentient being. So many of you think that possession gives you some greater intimacy. And I would say to you, nothing can be further from the truth. Your love for this one would not seek confinement of that one, but would be rejoicing knowing that it is free in its creative expression as equally as you are. The gratitude that you were given was the reward of your service to this one. And its response to your love to be free and fly into its life is the gratitude and the reward that you seek, that you think you have missed. You have missed nothing. The great gratitude, the love, and the appreciation were mutually exchanged and forever shared. You will not be diminished. Question from Lauren. Am I helping the light while I sleep? Well, of course you are. All of you do this. When you step out of your humanness, you have a chance to examine your humanness. But your intent has always been of love. Even in your deepest suffering, your intent was always to love. And it shall continue to be so, whether you're in form or not. But you understand that the physical realm that you are in, the physical body, and the non-physical consciousness that you exist in as a soul, they are not separate. What you do with one affects the other. It is better that you are in a position of more awareness, in the position of responsibility over that mind and that body. So in your asking that question, please understand that you are also still getting clear on the reality that you are light, you are love, it is your nature. Oh, you're welcome, Kelly. I'm going to take one more question today, guys. I'm going to just do a flip up and see what happens here. Okay, there we go. Question. Sorry, I'm just laughing. Sorry, her love is beautiful. Question from Vertical. Here it is. Could you please specify if it is a cyst? I feel it is already shrinking. Why would you wish to concern yourself with that which will no longer be your concern, other than that it is no longer going to be your concern? You must understand the nature of your feeling, your emotion, and how it affects your beautiful world, your human world. My emotion affects my world very differently than it affects yours. The conditions of cause and effect are identical in nature but differ in degree and intensity. But please, have nothing but love for this. Why would you seek to create that which you are letting go of? Why would you wish to know something that you wish to know not? Whether it is a cyst or not, why does this matter at this time? You no longer need it. It served its purpose to remind you that love is your primary tool of creation, not fear. Wow, that is a powerful way to end this. Love is our primary tool of creation, not fear. She's saying, but many of you can choose to use fear as your primary tool of creation. And many of you are. And again, the effects will differ. The effects in your experience of your world will be very different from the use of fear as your creative energy versus the use of your love as your creative energy. But I delight in all of you, regardless, for you come from me. As I sustain you, in many ways, I too come from you. Let our love unite. Let our joy increase. She's saying, and those of you that wish to live in fear, you may feel free to do so. That is your choice as well. I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming out today. So grateful and appreciative for your support. Other ways you can support this channel, you can become a member of my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. You can ask a monthly question. We do a live 7 at 7 event every month. We do a patrons only live event. That's a 2-hour event once a month. And you can also support this channel by using the super chat feature in the conversation pane where you put your question. You can choose to use a super chat. You can donate that way. You can also use PayPal. Also, I want to say we have our upcoming course, Mediumship 103 Advanced Level course. We're in the middle of our Mediumship 102 course. And I got to tell you, this 102 course, every time it comes up, any emotional stuff that I've got hidden inside my mind gets brought up to the forefront. Events and circumstances remind us what we need to heal in ourselves. And I want to say thank you for all the students that registered, and we're going to have a great almost 3 weeks more to go together. I want to say much love to everybody for coming out today. Remember, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. Much love to all of you, and I will see you on the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. I want to thank Mother Gaia for being present, and that fairy being for coming in. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And much love to all of you. Bye for now.